The melt last year was vast, even in a decade which has shown a continual loss of ice mass. Melting from an extra warm 2019 was enough to cover California, the third largest US state, in 1.25 meters of water. The study by scientists at the Helmholtz Center for Polar and Marine Research used satellite measurements to measure the issue. They showed 586 billion tons of Greenland's ice melted last year. Lead author Inge Sasken says it's the largest loss on record. The previous record was set in 2012, where it had similar atmospheric conditions leading to the extreme melt in summer. The 2012 record referred to by Sasken saw 511 billion tons of melting ice. The study is published on August 20 this year in the journal Nature Communications, Earth and Environment.
2017 and 2018 were near balance years for the Greenland ice sheet, which is quite abnormal because in the recent decade we had a mass loss in nearly every year, or we had mass loss actually in every year.
Siskin attributes the fluctuations to a weather system called Greenland blocking. In 2017 and 2018, there was no Greenland blocking. This meant cooler Arctic air flowed from the open ocean into Greenland. Saskin says the melt is too great to reverse.
The glacier calving and discharge is too large to have an ice sheet in balance conditions, which means that even though you might have a year where you have a lot of snowfall and not as much melt, you will still have the mass loss into the ocean through glacier changes. And this is what happened in 2017 and 18. In earlier times, like 30 years ago, with atmospheric conditions like 2017 and 2018 would have actually produced a mass gain.
Last year's melt added 1.5 millimeters to global sea level rise, according to the study. Professor Martin Sigurd, a glaciologist from Imperial College London, says the study's results have grave consequences for sea level rises.
What happened in 2019 is unprecedented, that a huge amount of material was lost. And when you look at the longer scale picture of ice loss in Greenland, smoothing out those year-to-year variabilities, there is a signal where the Greenland ice sheet is increasingly losing more mass.
Another study in the International Journal of Climatology calculates Greenland's coastal regions warmed an average 1.7 degrees Celsius in the summer since 1991. Ziegert says current trends could in future put coastal populations around the world at risk, and the report shouldn't be ignored.
It's not something that we can reverse. We can't reverse the sea level that's already happened. We're locked into that. We can't actually reverse some further sea level that will happen because, as I said, we're locked into at least another half degree of global warming. But what we can do is avoid, say, 4 degrees of warming by this century, which could be disastrous in many ways, but also for sea level, by reducing our carbon dioxide to net zero by around about 2050. So this is an urgent thing. This is something that we absolutely must get a grip on.
In 2017, the United Nations Ocean Conference concluded 40% of the world's population lived within 100 kilometers of the coast, and 10% lived less than 10 meters above the sea level.